you did say earlier that you saw some stuff that was a bit expensive. What did you mean in terms of like
So it's,
what's
the
expensive for
area.
you?
So okay, because I was looking at the margin. So a room typically costs like
Mhm.
just a double room is like £500.
Yeah,
Uh,
similar,
and
similar.
then we're looking at five, and then 550 en suite going up to £600. So
Sure.
that's like the going rate for a room.
Hmm.
And then the cheapest rent that I found in the area was like £900.
Okay.
So when I looked at like just the basic overheads would come up to about £679. That's the
Right.
council tax, the water, and all of that stuff. So when
Okay.
I added that one to the £900,
Yeah.
it was just over 1,600. So
Yeah.
there was no
No room for you
profit
there.
margin at
Yeah.
all.
So when you was looking at the £900 property, was that like a three bed, four
A
bed,
three bed, yeah,
three bed? Okay. And
yeah,
and with that, you would look to maybe rent the rooms out individually. Is that what he's talking about?
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So with the three beds, normally like I find them to be not much margin with the smaller properties if you're going to go by the
Mhm.
room.
Yeah, okay.
Obviously with like if you're doing Airbnb, then you could
Yeah.
make a lot more because it's not dependent on by the room, is it? It's with a three bed, you could have a sofa bed in the front room and you could have single beds in each of the bedrooms and
Hmm.
you could practically advertise it for it could sleep 6 to 8 people if they were like
Right,
individual contractors
right.
and you could
So the
charge
serviced accommodation is
yeah
like three bedrooms, two bedrooms sort of thing.
yeah that
HMO is like four bedroom upwards.
yeah I feel so even some
Yeah.
four beds like I've ended up giving them back over time just because sometimes you find like groups of three but it's difficult to sometimes fill that fourth room. I don't know what it is about that fourth room number, but five and six is what we prefer than like three and
Okay.
four for HMO.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because there tends to be that a little bit more room. Like when you're negotiating with a landlord, you can normally get it for a little bit less because there's not a huge amount of people looking for a five bed, six bedroom house.
Right. There's no families that have like
Yeah,
five,
exactly.
between
Whereas
five,
with the
six
two and
bedrooms. Yeah.
threes, that the landlords have got families queuing up for them, and
Yeah.
they just think
Yeah.
it's a bit easier to just rent it to this person rather than going with this
Right.
company.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I like that. Now I can just change my strategy and just
Yeah,
think,
there's always a
yeah,
strategy for every property,
yeah,
right? But just don't always look at a three bed and think, okay, it has to fit this criteria for
yeah,
it sense because you could do something else with it. Um, yeah, there's different strategies here, so it's good that you're looking. But in terms of rent to rent HMO, I would definitely target the larger units. Um, you'll be able to make more money like that. And if you did take on a smaller property, then I think it'd be best to go down the service accommodation route,
seven, yeah,
which you can definitely do. You're capable of doing both, both of them work. I just think the best portfolio would be to have a mixture of both.
yeah, yeah. Because the thing with service accommodation is it could be quite seasonal,
Yeah, yeah,
so you could be more voids than,
yeah,
but then the margins you'd make on a good
yeah,
month would be really,
yeah,
really
for
good.
sure, for sure,
Yeah,
definitely. It's definitely a great strategy. We've got some students on the course now that just are flying from doing serviced accommodation, but the way I did it was HMO first, and then I started doing some service accommodation after that because the HMOs just gave me a bit more of like predictable income.
yeah,
Like I knew what was going to come in every month pretty much with those.
yeah. Oh yeah, look, what I noticed as well is um with like six bedroom, five bedroom properties on like Rightmove and things like that,
Yeah.
they were more targeted towards students and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
weren't, it wasn't really like to a private
Yeah,
person or
yeah.
to a company.
Yeah.
So would the direct approach be more beneficial in that sort of sense?
Yeah, I
Because,
mean, we're going to do a direct approach anyway.
you know,
as we move through it, we're going to write to those landlords of those properties, right? And we're going to send them a letter. So there's probably, I don't know, 1,000 in Nottingham with HMOs. I don't know how many there are. In our area, there's only like 400. So we've just sent out a marketing letter to those people last week. And I had a phone call yesterday with a landlord called me on Friday night and I called him back yesterday morning. And we're sending someone to go and view it this week. And he's like trying to sell the HMO to me almost, like saying like,
Okay, that's
oh,
good.
someone else will want it. So, come and have a look. And I've been getting your letters for years and things like that. So the letters make it more of a warm conversation rather than you having to
Right.
warm them up to it.
Rather than a cold lead. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get
So
that.
so
Yeah.
we're gonna get to that for sure.
Okay.
But we want to be at the stage where we're communicating the service clearly and concisely at
Yeah,
that point, so that when you do have
absolutely.
that conversation, you can close, hopefully.
Confidently close
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
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 But all the things leading up to that, so your online stuff, your anything on your website, this sort of stuff, your emails, this will
Hmm.
be building up your almost reputation with the landlord, and they should understand even the letter, like it's quite clear the services that you provide in the letter that we're gonna send out. So a lot of the work's done, the heavy lifting's done a lot from your marketing almost.
Hmm.
You don't have to be this genius and be communicating it amazingly. You just have to kind of like follow up with what you've
Just
written.
sweeten the deal up a little bit and
Yeah,
just add a personal
yeah,
touch to it
exactly.
where they get the feeling of you and with it, like the synergy
Exactly.
you were talking about.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
And you'll get different types of landlords. Like we've got different avatars for landlords, so you'll be able to almost predict what type of person they are, what motivates them. And
Oh,
like
wow. Okay.
like yesterday, I was just trying to listen to the gentleman and try and get the pain points out, but he was like I can tell he's got a money orientated landlord, so he was trying to like sell it to me, and he wasn't really listening much to what I was trying to say. He was like, I know that type of landlord. They're quite common. 'Cause you have to remember, like with HMO landlords, often they are a bit more savvy than like a normal traditional 1 or 2 bed house property. They've already been
Mhm.
savvy enough to go and pay for a license, and like they understand the
Okay.
commercial element of, okay, if I pay for this HMO license and split the house up into different bedrooms, it should make me more money. That's kind of like the
Mhm.
mindset that they already have. So they're already going to be a little bit more savvy than your normal landlord, but they are probably going to be, well, your ideal customer is going to be in their 50s, 60s, maybe a bit tired of doing it themselves. Like the chap I spoke to yesterday, he's got some empty rooms, and I can tell he kind of would rather someone just give him one guaranteed payment every month. That's what he kind of was
Mhm.
mentioning on the phone. Um, so yeah, we'll get to all that good stuff as time goes on, but
This is exciting. I love it.
yeah, yeah. But for now, let's just
Yeah.
keep
Okay.
learning, keep taking it in. Um, if this time works for you next week, we'll do it again as well, this sort of
Yeah.
time.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, any questions that you have in between now and then, just fire them over in the group chat, or whatever. We'll save them for
Yeah.
next week, and we'll go through them. But I'd encourage you to
Okay.
speak in there and ask questions, because people do have knowledge in there, and I'm always going to answer whatever you need in there as well. And if you need to message
Okay.
privately on WhatsApp or whatever, then you can as well.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. I know I got my homework to sit out
But
this
you
week,
got your
so yeah.
homework to do, yeah? Don't complicate it, remember. Just think of,
No.
think of your name, get it registered. That would be great progress in itself for next week,
Yeah.
and we can go from there.
Sounds good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's great. Thank you, Luke.
No worries. All right. Well, we'll catch up again in the week. If you're struggling with it, just WhatsApp me and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Lovely. Well, have a good weekend.
You
I'll
too,
speak to you
you
next week.
too. And we'll catch up soon, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. Take
All right.
care. Bye bye.
Bye, bye.